We went on our first day, that was March 5th. And then shelter in place started March 17th. So we've only been on like 5 dates before we decided to move in together.
At one point, we were all strangers, and then we became roommates.
We went from being literally on other parts of the country to being in a 500 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment overnight, basically.
We got engaged on the first day of quarantine.
We wanted a big, beautiful wedding.
Tomorrow actually is our anniversary.
We're gonna go out for a nice dinner.
Yeah, we're gonna go out for a nice dinner down the hall.
We've been together for 8 years.
6 years.
We've been married, this year will be 35 years. I know you want to make it longer. I don't blame you.
We're currently quarantined in Paris, France.
We're quarantining here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
We are joining you from Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
We did the virtual dating thing for about a week, and I think on day 2 is when Zana was like, you know what, we should just quarantine together. This would be way easier.
It was getting a little bit too much.
We both work totally full time. He's 18 months old, so as you can see, he's being great, but he's a lot. So we really just needed help.
For quarantine, I was in Seattle working on a solo show. And then I went to visit Raja to see his show in Seattle, and then things got crazy.
Charlotte was supposed to be visiting me for her spring break from school when everything got shut down, and so she decided it wasn't a good idea to fly back to Florida.
The best part about being with your family while you're quarantined is being with your family while you're quarantined. And then the worst part about being with your family while you're quarantined is being with your family while you're quarantined.
Just to have somebody who understands you, who shares a sense of humor, who shares similar interests, and who just loves you for who you are, to have them around during a time like this is the best thing.
I suppose the worst thing is sometimes when you're too close, there can be more functional issues like temperature. I am actually sleeping separately in a camp bed, let's say 1 out of 3 or 4 nights, because someone gets too warm and so we have to turn the fan on.
I don't even know if this is necessarily a bad thing. I don't get to miss her during the day.
The worst part is that we have to work.
The best parts about being quarantined together, I would say Patrick's a really good cook. We've been cooking so much.
Now, like that I'm home and I don't have a lot to do, when I throw down in the kitchen, I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. I get to like serve you food, to provide for one another during this time in a space that we created is really exciting.
I hope your parents don't watch this video.
When you say keep it fresh.
This dress actually. I wore this dress one day and I was like, let's go.
We downloaded this app that is like a sex exploration app. Did a lot of exercises about exploring your body or just having conversations.
Be unreliable. Don't do the same thing twice. That is a lesson I teach in theater and in dance, and I just have to say it also relates to the relationship.
Communication is it's so much easier for us now.
It's really nice to be able to actually build you carve out lifetime memories together and not have to ask about the other's life.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the big concerns early on, is just, it doesn't matter who I'm with for this amount of time. They're probably going to hate me and I'm probably going to hate them. Luckily, we haven't gotten there yet. But I think one of the reasons why is because we are giving each other enough space.
We're learning more about the other person's perspective and kind of just coming to a middle ground. And just conflict resolution, that feels pretty healthy.
I know that if I come into the room and she might look at me and smile, I know okay, she's working. I'm not gonna start up a convo. Just gonna get my seltzer and carry on. Sorry.
Using words the way that they're meant to be used is very important to me and something that we talk about a lot. And I will challenge you on how you're communicating with me if you want me to actually understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm awful to be with, obviously.
It's
rare in any scenario that you would spend more than a week with your in-laws at a beach house or, away for winter vacation. It's been nice. I honestly have been pleasantly surprised.
And I'm not pinching him or anything. Yeah. I'm only holding this wooden knife.
When you have someone who loves you in a really uncomplicated way, having that foundational support of like trust and love and kindness, it just makes the rest of your life possible.
Patrick always feels like the best days are still ahead, no matter what. Like he just doesn't get bogged down. And so I think I've just learned how strong that sense of optimism about the future, I guess, how strong that is, even when it feels like the world is crumbling down.
I think like one thing that we've done a super nice job of is just like being open-minded and like taking things a day at a time and like really enjoying the moment. If it feels right and things are going well, then like lean into that and don't think about too much else,
Yeah. And then like, what's the worst that can happen? Like worst case scenario, you've tried something and you will have a funny story to tell your friends, but like worst case scenario, Ubers will be there. You just leave. So just taking a risk can pay off. So I would definitely suggest whoever is considering it, just try it.